Okay, welcome to the third of the, 17th of the Baz tutorials. I was kind of confused. I had to change my intro patch because Max was crashing. It has something to do with disposing using this patcher with a JIT window in front. I'm sure that is all really good stuff. I could figure it out how to automate it, but that intro might not be worth the effort. Alright, today that temporal cataloging thing is something I wrote a paper on many years ago, and I could probably give you a link, but I didn't prepare that. Basically, it's a way of using amplitude, or I guess that's what I'm going to use today, amplitude, in terms of basically putting things into a list that you can retrieve them back later. I'm not sure. Temporal cataloging, maybe that's just not the right word, but let's just see what happens anyway. First thing I'm going to make is a new object called jit.qt.movie, and I'm going to read in a video here, so I'll make a message, read tutorial 0.mov. This is quite a fun tutorial, sure. Let's hook up the outlet of that message to the inlet of the qt.movie and read it by clicking the message.
MaxMSP is a graphical environment for music, audio, and multimedia.
That's not me.
Developed by Cycling74.
It's just my voice didn't change.
The main document type that we work with in Max is called a patcher.
Okay. I'm going to make a message here saying vol0. This is something that I think I suggested on one of the tutorials without, it was on a hint or something. But if we have vol0, it means that we won't get the qt.movie playing its sound back incessantly while we build this patcher. Alright, we need a new object with the metro. Again, let's make a metro going at 30 milliseconds between bangs. I don't know why 30, why not? Alright, and I'll make a toggle. This is all good old stuff here to turn on the metro. And I suppose we could have a window to be seeing this video in. Give myself a little window in here. So that's the one with that's the one when you double click you get the little mouth, the little cat guy. Is the jit.p window, a patcher window, so you can play it inside the patcher. Alright, the thing that I guess we're going to do first is we want to get the sound out of this video without, into MSP. So instead of having the sound playing through jitter, we get the sound playing through MSP, which we can do that with an object called spigot. Spigot with a tilde. I'll just have to give it a name. So fish is a good one. Let me see quickly that Max didn't complain, not yet. And then I can, to have this video actually see or for this spigot to see the video in the jit.qt.movie, you have to make a message that's sock with the name of your spigot. So sock fish should, I don't know what the sock, I always associate, I suppose, maybe that's what it means. So if I click that message, we should be getting the audio from the video coming out of this sock object. We need a new object with the DAC, of course, if we're going to listen to anything in MSP. So we can hook up the outlets of our spigot to our DAC, make it toggle to turn on the DAC, and then supposedly we should be hearing the video playing out our DAC. Not yet. So my question, I suppose, maybe we need to give it a volume value?
If we like orderly connections, we can use segment and patch cords.
Alright.
As you can see now, we're generating...
So we can tell that we've got the audio coming out here just by turning off and on the DAC. Actually, it doesn't happen immediately. There's an XML file or something weird that is generated when you do this sock business with a spigot. You can see it actually takes quite a long time.
We're going to use this to create a note on-off pair for a MIDI synthesizer.
Alright. I can leave that off for the moment. Oh, actually, and assuming this chick's not going to get too annoying.
The make note object generates the notes.
She probably will. I'm going to have get the average amplitude. Maybe I'll just use one.
And the note out object
yes,
sends
she's
them.
going to get too annoying. So I'm going to make an AVG tilde. We've seen this object before. New object AVG with the tilde, and this measures the average amplitude of the signal, audio signal, in between each bang. So if we hook up just one of these outlets to the AVG, and we see, so it needs a bang to get that average output, and it's a value between 0 and 1, which is kind of not quite as useful as we might want, because the 0 to 1 isn't like a linear number. What would be actually more useful is using new object A to dB, which is amplitude to decibel. So it'll give you something that was 0 to 1 that will come out of here now, negative infinity to 0, I believe. Alright, so let's turn on, let's have create a float object here, and just to see what our average is giving us. Of course, without any sound on, we're getting negative infinity, which is very quiet. Alright, let's just turn this DAC on and see what we're getting out of this thing. Alright, so we're measuring the amplitude, which hasn't actually even started coming through the spigot yet. Okay, hello, any day. There's going to be a lot of waiting around on this tutorial, quite obviously. I hadn't
Different
prepared
objects
any
provide
jokes.
different functions.
Right.
For example,
You can
let's
see
create
that
a toggle switch.
when she talks, we get something
A
that's,
toggle is used a lot to start and stop different behaviors in your patch.
I don't know, something above negative 30.
At the far left
or
of the
something.
palette is the object box.
So I'll make a negative greater
We
than,
use the object box by typing in words.
greater than,
These words load small
negative 30.
programs, which are then used to build larger ones.
so
For
I'm going to
example,
say, if I
a
turn this
metro
off,
object set to
nope,
350 when
doesn't
turned on
help.
with a toggle will provide a metronome
Okay.
that sends out a message called a bang.
Alright, I wish I could keep it running so we could watch this, but I can't without driving. Oh, I guess I could have done it with the volume down. Anyway, we're going to see if it's greater than negative 30, we're going to assume that she's saying something, and it's a word, let's say. And the first thing we want to do when we test for things like this is we only want to measure something or get something when it changes, and so there's a really good object called change, which is for just that kind of situation. So we're only going to get a 0 out of here when the amplitude drops below, I mean the decibel level drops below a certain, below negative 30, and when it goes above negative 30 we'll get a 1 out of here. So first thing I'm going to do is make a new object with a trigger bang I, which TBI for short. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the time value from the QuickTime movie, so I can store the times when it goes above the amplitude and then drops below the amplitude, so as kind of time frames. So let's look at that. Let's make a message, new message here with the M on my keyboard, get time, which is all just one word, get time. And we're going to, every time it changes, we're going to get the time from the QuickTime movie. We could have a quick look at what happens. Well, I'll just tell you what happens when you get a time value. When you say get time, out the right outlet of quicktime.jit.qt.movie is going to be a message that starts with the word time. We want to get rid of the word time, so I'm going to create a new message with root time. Root is a good way of stripping something off the start of a list.